So I really do hope that these short little videos will get you to become more intuitive and start thinking how the Avada theme works. Now, of course, I have complete in-depth more benefits and features of my premium courses. These are free courses. Now, let's be honest with each other, okay? You don't work for free. I don't work for free. So I don't mind sharing my knowledge with you for free, but I assume that my knowledge will help you earn money. So if you're serious about what you do and you're really serious about making a living at this, please support me by signing up for my premium courses, which are much more in-depth and upgradable, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, enough of that. All right, let's go and move forward. And right now we're in the location page. Now, here's what I want to share with you. This location page, of course, looks a little different because the original theme that was set up had the whole world, which is part of your WordPress installation. Well, of course, I don't want that, so I'm going to go under Dashboard, and I'm simply going to get rid of my post, which is the whole world post, and of course, that ships with WordPress, so you'd have to take that away if, in fact, you don't want to use that. So I'm just going to click right here and throw that in the trash. So now if I go back to the page, you will see that it looks exactly how it should look from the Avada theme website. So if I go back here, go back to on location, you'll see that now it looks exactly the same. Now again, let's go and edit the page. Yeah, I can make a copy of the page, but this is really pretty simplistic, so we can just go share with you how to affect and change this particular page. So I'm going to edit page. And if you scroll down here for a second, I just want to point something out to you. Okay, if you want to change existing sliders in new version 5, before you had to go up here to the menu, now you can basically edit the slider or remove the slider altogether. So I can edit the slider or edit the slides. I understand the difference from a previous video. The slider is basically the container for the slides. The slider is what gets applied to the page. So as an example, whatever that slider location is would be down here on the bottom under pages. So under pages slider, and you'll see that I have the on location page selected. Again, depending on where you want to position this, below or above. Now the default means that it comes from the theme options, from the Avada theme options. So I just want to point something out to you. Anything under here is global, but you can override that locally, similar to how CSS works. So you have global CSS and local CSS. So basically, the global affects the whole entire site, but then you can make changes locally. All right, so now the blog post is similar to the portfolio that we talked about in previous videos. So it works identical. So whatever you put in your blog, you can choose to bring that up in a blog post. And the layouts can be so many per page, so many per categories, et cetera, et cetera. You choose not to show categories. Again, do this in your practice time, but I just want to point out to you where that information is coming from. The information is coming from your post. The posts have to be a blog. Now, what's of importance here in this particular case is if I want to subscribe to something. Now, notice it says contact form. So if I click right here, this is simply a contact text block. So in here I have the shortcode for what's called the Context 7, which is a free plugin that ships with the Avada theme. It's one of the best contact forms out there. You can style it any way you choose. Let me share with you. So if you get a visual snapshot of this, it's basically saying contact form 7, 633, subscribe, whatever you want to call that. Now, where's that information coming from? Well, if we come over here to the left, under contact, I'm going to hold down the control key, Macintosh, or right click for Windows, and I'm going to go into contact forms. So you can have different types of contact forms styled differently depending on what you want to do. So as an example, this was called subscribe. So if I come up here and you wanted to make changes to that, that's it right here. Now, very important step here. I haven't changed any of the mail settings, but they've changed things in the past 2 years that if you use a Google or Yahoo account, and unless it's up to snuff with the current SEO and spam protection, you may have to use a web address that goes to your particular domain name. So You can get error messages when sending out mass emails to your clients or your prospective buyers if you use a Gmail account or other non-related web accounts. So I have a separate video that explains this in detail. But basically what's happening here is here's my form setup, and anytime you create a contact form, it puts the shortcode right here. So whatever settings or whatever objects that you have set up in here, messages like, hey, you basically contacted us successfully, that information comes right from here. Now again, I have a very in-depth video series on setting up a contact form from scratch, but I just want to share with you that I can make changes to it right from here and where it's coming from. So this is basically set up with CSS. CSS is a whole nother subject we'll go into, but I just want to share with you where that's coming from. So every time you make a form, that information is right here. So if I close this window and I come back here for a second, that's where this information right here came from. So if I didn't have the information in there, I would just copy and paste just like that. I'm going to cancel out of that. So I just want to share with you that's where the information is coming from. Okay, so the information that you see here is identical to how the site is going to visually behave based on your properties of that particular theme. So in our next video, we'll finish out the photography website. Now again, I just want to share with you that I have much more in-depth videos, but the purpose of these free YouTube videos is to kind of get you up and running and get a taste and feel on how the Avada theme works and can work for you. Talk to you soon.